Hello, this is Lavistro, with Dragon Cyberspace, coming to you with all news, tips, and tricks within the gaming spectrum. You know, if you watch my live streams, Lavistro Plays, which airs 7 days a week, 10:15 Central and 11:15 p.m. Eastern, you'll know that one of the games we've covered and played was Bayonetta. And 100% of that game, not that long ago. In fact, it was right before the current series, Witcher 3, the Witcher 2 and 3 that we're playing. And one of the viewers that were talking in the chat, asked if it was inspired by the DMC, Devil May Cry. And well, it seems like it might well be. But most of all, it seems like Devil May Cry 4 had actually pushed the quality of Bayonetta to greater heights, as Emma Mayton reports. Devil May Cry's highest quality pushed Bayonetta to greater heights according to Hideki, I hope I said his name right, Kamiya. I really hope I said his name right. Hideki Kamiya talks about the Tsuno sequels to Devil May Cry and how DMC 4 influenced the quality of Bayonetta. Devil May Cry and Bayonetta series created Hideki Kamiya. Oh, so he created them both. I did not know this. I actually did not know this. I should, but I didn't. Recently had a panel discussion with fellow Capcom veteran Hideki Tsuno at Game Creators Conference 25, as reported back to Game Makers. The developers talked about their attitudes toward creating sequels, sharing some background details about the development of the DMC series and Bayonetta. During his 30-year run at Capcom, Hideki Tsuno, who is now president of AAA developer Lightspeed Japan Studio, directed the Dragon Dogma series, as well as Devil May Cry's mainline series 225. Itsuno was assigned to Devil May Cry 2 towards the end of its development, and in a discussion with Kamiya, he mentions that the project leaving him feeling unfulfilled. This led to a voluntary proposal to Capcom that he take on the Devil May Cry 3 from scratch. Starting from assembling an in-house team, looking back, he refers to it as a sequel that honored the spirit of the original Devil May Cry. He says he was really fortunate to have been able to communicate with Kamiya during the process. And that's awesome. When you're a dev that's taking over a title that you did not start originally, but you want to make sure is faithful and honorable to the first title, that you would go to this length. That's just a lot of the game creators back during that time period. In turn, Kamiya expresses gratitude to Itsuno for turning around Devil May Cry 2's troubled development and consulting with him about Devil May Cry 3, despite him no longer being directly involved in development. Kamiya calls Itsuno a very valuable person for having continued the DMC series. Interestingly, Itsuno's work on Devil May Cry went on to indirectly influence Kamiya. While Kamiya was directing Bayonetta, his first game as a director at Platinum Games, Itsuno was busy making Devil May Cry 4 at Capcom. According to Kamiya, the quality of Devil May Cry 4 at the time heavily influenced his work on Bayonetta. He recalls going to play the demo together with the Bayonetta dev team, which sparked a competitiveness in them that ultimately drove them to raise the quality of Bayonetta. And that's how game design used to be. We studied games, we played games, we asked ourselves, how could we implement this in a game? What it would be like about this game that we would put in our own games, as well as how could we make our games better looking than the games that inspired us. Sadly, this no longer seems the case, as it has become corporate slop. As a result of taking on the sequels, Kamiya outright denies rumors about him not wanting to direct sequels. He explains that, although there have been cases where restrictions have prevented him from doing so, he'd often discuss possible sequels and what he'd like to do with them in his development teams. On the other hand, Kamiya also says that making sequels to well-known IPs comes with unique obstacles, yes, such as the pressure to exceed fans' expectations and internal resistance from within a company. According to Kamiya, after you've released a work to the public, more than half of it belongs to all players. Hey, Ubisoft. Hey, Ubisoft. I hope you're watching this stream. According to Kamiya, once you release the work to the public, more than half of it belongs to the players. I think Disney and Kathleen Kennedy can take a note from this as well. Once an IP has been released and the fans love it, half of it belongs to the players, which is why you can't afford to ignore them when creating. Oh, so fucking based. Which is why you can't afford to ignore them when creating a sequel. Wow. No wonder a lot of games and movies are failing when it comes to sequels to an IP. It's because they're ignoring the fans. They're trying to do what they want, not being honoring the original. Shocking. Seriously. Like, we've been saying this for a very long time, and it's refreshing to hear that from devs across the sea. Sadly, I don't understand why it had to be devs across the sea, but I like that acknowledgement. On that note, Comedia is working on a much anticipated sequel to Akami, the first project by this new independent game studio Clovers. Although they want you to know that they're not just a company for making sequels. But yes, what do you think about that statement? Do you think Bayonetta was heavily inspired by Devil May Cry 4? What do you think about them saying that the game belongs to the players and that devs should listen to the players when creating a sequel? Put your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, happy gaming.
Worlds clash in endless collision. Gaming news with a fierce precision. With a spark so wild it breaks the norm. In the tempest eye of cyberstorm. Reclaim gaming and Dragon Cast. Fire breathing wide, screaming loud. Lavistro's here to shake the crowd.